All right, let's talk about something that can be a real game changer for students in England, but something a lot of people might not know enough about. The Disabled Student Allowance, or as you'll hear it called, DSA. Now, this is way more than just money for your studies. It's really a key that can unlock your full potential and make sure higher education is a level playing field for everyone. So let's get into it.
First things first, we need to get our heads around a really fundamental shift in thinking. The whole philosophy behind modern disability support, and especially DSA, isn't about looking at a student and seeing a problem to be fixed. Not at all. It's about looking at the learning environment itself and asking, what are the barriers here and how can we get rid of them?
And this slide right here, this just lays it out perfectly. For the longest time, the thinking was based on this old, outdated medical model. It saw disability as a personal deficit and needed some kind of intervention. But the social model, it completely flips that on its head. It says the problem isn't the person, it's the barriers in society and the environment that create the disability. So support isn't about changing the student, it's about changing the world around them to create real equality. It's a much more empowering way to look at things, right?
Okay, so you might be wondering, how does this support actually happen? Well, in England, it's built on two really solid pillars that work together. You've got what the universities do, and then you've got direct support from the government. Let's break down what each of those looks like.
So, pillar number one is what we call reasonable adjustments. This is a legal duty that universities have under the Equality Act. They have to proactively make changes to make sure their campuses, their courses, and their teaching are accessible. Think of it as the foundational layer of support that should be there for everybody.
And then you have pillar number two, the Disabled Student Allowance itself. Now, this is a government grant that goes above and beyond what the university provides. It's not a loan, which is so important you never have to pay it back. It's designed to pay for specific, personalized support to cover the extra costs you might have because of a disability. So the key thing to remember is that DSA works on top of the university's duties to give you that tailored help.
And look, this is a serious investment in student success. For the 2025-26 academic year, the maximum amount is over £27,000. And crucially, it's not based on your income, it's all about your individual needs. This single pot of funding is there to cover all sorts of different support, all tailored just for you.
So that's the what and the why of DSA. But what about the how? How do you actually get this support? I know it can look a bit complicated from the outside, but you can really break the whole thing down into a pretty simple three-step journey. Let's walk through it.
Step one is pretty straightforward. You apply for DSA and provide some evidence of your disability. Once they confirm you're eligible, you move on to step two, which is the needs assessment. Now, this sounds formal, but it's really just a conversation. You'll chat with an expert to figure out exactly what challenges you face and what kind of support will actually help you. And then, step three, you get your support plan confirmed and everything is put in place, ready for you to start your studies.
And now we get to the really good part. What does this funding actually pay for? What kind of tools can you get in your toolkit to help you succeed? Well, it's usually a powerful mix of human expertise and some pretty amazing technology.
Yep, it pretty much boils down to those two things. On one hand, you have specialist one-on-one support from a real person, sometimes called non-medical help. And on the other hand, you have cutting-edge assistive technology that's all about helping you work smarter, not harder.
And this table gives you a great idea of how that human support works. It's super specialized. A study skills tutor, for example, is all about the how of learning. They'll help you with things like structuring an essay or finding memory techniques that work for you. A specialist mentor is different. They're there to help you navigate barriers that might be related to your mental health or being on the autism spectrum, focusing on things like managing anxiety or staying organized.
Then there's the tech, and we're not just talking about a laptop here. This is specialized software that can absolutely be a game changer. You've got things like Glean, which records your lectures so you never miss a thing, or MindView, which lets you visually map out your ideas for an essay. There's Read and Write, which can read articles or even your own writing back to you, which is incredible for proofreading, and Dragon, which lets you just speak your assignments instead of typing. Pretty cool, huh?
So, with all this amazing support, the tutors, the mentors, all this tech, what's the end game? What's the ultimate goal here? Well, it's about so much more than just getting you through your degree. The philosophy behind it is much, much bigger than that.
You know, this quote from the official government guidance just says it all. The whole point is to empower students, to help them become more autonomous, more independent. The support is there to help you build your own skills and strategies so you're ready to thrive not just at university, but in whatever career you choose afterwards.
I love thinking about it like this. DSA builds a bridge for you to get you over any immediate barriers you're facing. But, and this is the important part, it also gives you the toolkit and the know-how to build your own bridges later in life. The goal isn't to create dependency, it's to foster skills and confidence that will stick with you forever.
And that leaves us with one last, really big question to chew on. While support like DSA is absolutely vital right now, the ultimate dream of that social model is a world where these individual bridges just aren't necessary. So the challenge for all of us is, how do we keep redesigning education from the ground up to be so inclusive, so accessible, that no bridges are ever needed in the first place? That's the future we should all be working toward.